This video is all about how I will run my castle. When William the Conqueror was crowned as King of England on Christmas Day 1066, he had a problem. No, it was not the fact that he spoke an early dialect of French and therefore couldn't communicate with the English, if we can call it English-speaking population. It was the need to reinstall law, order and stability in a country ravaged by war. And although, as we saw last time, some of his tactics to establish his authority were pretty bloody, remember the harrying of the north? He was largely able to secure his control of England through a system of government known as the feudal system. On a side note, the Anglo-Saxon rulers that the Normans replaced had used an ancient Germanic and arguably more democratic system of governance known as the Witengamut, or Witan, not to be confused with Dumbledore's Wizengamot, of course. The Witan was made up of the most important noblemen in England, who came together to discuss matters of national importance and advise the king. There is even evidence that this group of elders could democratically elect a king in times of leadership crisis. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, a sort of logbook of everything that happened under the Anglo-Saxons, written by monks, tells us that when Edward the Confessor died without a natural heir, the Witan chose Harold Godwinson as his successor. However, let's get back to the nitty-gritty of the feudal system. Basically, in this video we're trying to work out how our castle will be run, and for this we'll need to start at the top of the feudal system. The man in charge in this system is the king. The king effectively owns all the land in the kingdom. Having all this land made other nobles jealous. Therefore, in order to retain their loyalty, the king would reward them with land and titles, and in turn they would swear allegiance to him. The system whereby the nobility would swear loyalty to a lord or king was known as vassalage, and that's our first key word in this lesson. A vassal, therefore, is the name given to a person who swears loyalty to another. The ceremony by which this is done is called homage, and an oath of fealty is the name given to the oath that's used in the ceremony. Finally, a fiefdom refers to the land that is inherited by a lord in the feudal system. So, the king keeps the lords, or to give them their Norman name barons, sweet, by granting them land, and in return they swear their loyalty to him. The barons also have a system of vassalage with their knights and other less prestigious nobility. The land granted to these nobles was worked and settled by villeins, and villeins were a type of unfree peasant who provided food and labour in exchange for the right to live and farm on the land. Additionally, and perhaps most importantly, a knight's villeins were considered to be under his protection, and he therefore had a duty to care for them in a time of crisis. This is where castles come into the story of the feudal system. Due to their defensive nature and the presence of their lord, castles quickly became the centre of activity in their local fiefdoms. The building of Chepstow Castle in the 11th century, for example, led to the rapid development of the town surrounding it, and at one time Chepstow could even claim to be the largest port in Wales. So, a Norman castle would have been run under the feudal system. It would have been the regional centre for law, order, taxation and trade. From here, a knight or lord could organise and protect his villeins and at the same time harvest the fruits of their labour. They could also train for times of war when they would be summoned to act upon their oath of fealty to the king. In this way we can see the feudal system as having a simple pyramid structure, reflecting each strata's position in terms of both power and numbers. However, it should also be acknowledged that what we have seen is a far simplified presentation of feudalism that overlooks peasants, free men who rented land for an agreed fee, merchants who came into towns to trade goods, city dwellers, vagrants, those with no fixed abode, and most importantly the church. Nevertheless, if you want to understand how castles were run, the feudal system is a better place than any to start. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us.